Danielle had a way with words, and not the good kind. She gossiped everywhere, at work, in the break room, at the beauty salon, even in the church. She always had something to say about someone. Her gossip didn't come in whispers, it came with flair, with laughter, dramatic pauses, and lines like, "I don't mean to talk bad, but," or, "I'm just being real." Once she almost got two co-workers fired, one by starting a rumor about an affair with their manager. The other, rumored of stealing. Neither was true. And guess what? Nothing happened to Danielle. Because Danielle knew how to twist details just enough to cause damage. She gossiped that a single mom on her team was sleeping with the manager. All because the woman got a promotion Danielle thought she deserved. It wasn't true. But HR still had to investigate. The woman nearly lost her job and became the subject of office ridicule. Danielle also told others that a quiet, hard-working man in accounting was secretly in debt and maybe stealing from the company. No proof, no cause, just whispers. He was pulled into a humiliating audit that turned up nothing. But the damage to his reputation was done. She liked the power it gave her. Being the woman people listened to. Even in church, her tongue was sharp. She questioned the pastor's decisions. She accused the youth leader of flirting with teenagers. It wasn't just false, it was wicked. The church had to do a full review, and though he was cleared, he stepped down out of shame and exhaustion. She whispered that the pastor's wife had cosmetic surgery and wasn't fit to be a first lady anymore. Just loud enough to stir doubt, just quiet enough to dodge accountability. She gossiped about the worship leader's divorce, claiming it was because she couldn't keep her man. That woman, already hurting, stopped singing in the choir. She mocked the new girl with the worn-out shoes, all wrapped in the disguise of concern. And her own family, they weren't safe either. She laughed about her sister's failed business, called it a waste of time, and said she should have known better than to think anyone would buy that homemade junk. The words got back to her sister. It crushed her confidence. She never reopened her online shop. She exposed her cousin's drinking problem. Not to help him, but to entertain people at a family cookout. The cousin was in recovery, until Danielle's gossip sent him back into a relapse. She even dragged her mother's name through the mud, bringing up painful mistakes from decades ago, telling others, "That's where I get it from. She was never a saint." Her mother heard about it through the grapevine. She stopped speaking to Danielle for months. But the tongue that scorched others eventually burned her world down too. At home, it started as tension, then everything unraveled. Her teenage daughter got caught vaping at school. Later, pills were found in her room. "I'm not taking them," the girl claimed, but the lies had already begun. Her son? He stopped coming home after school, started skipping classes. He was caught shoplifting at the mall once. His father paid for the items that he stole, and they let him off with a warning. Another time, he brought alcohol into school. When Danielle got the call from the principal, her stomach dropped. She barely recognized the boy she once read Bible stories to at bedtime. He spent more time at friends' houses than his own, mostly to avoid the tension, but also to escape the storm his mother had created. Danielle would wait up at night, pacing the floor, unsure if he was safe. And her husband, quiet, steady, once dependable, began coming home later and later. She found out he was having an affair. "She listens to me," he told her. "She doesn't tear people down." Her husband eventually moved out. The kids chose to go with him, not with a fight, but with silence. One night, he simply packed a bag and walked out the door. No warning, no plan, just gone. Danielle was left standing in the kitchen, staring at the empty chair across the table. The bills were piling up. The silence in the house was louder than ever, and for the first time there was no one left to deflect blame onto, just herself. She tried to juggle it all: rent, groceries, overdue notices, but it was too late. The lights were shut off. The eviction notice came like a final blow. And the friends she once entertained with gossip and laughter, nowhere to be found. Danielle tried to keep up appearances, but the spiral was fast and brutal. Those lies and rumors she told at her job finally caught up to her. HR started investigating her after several people complained about her gossiping and spreading rumors, which was causing chaos in the workplace. She lost her job. They fired her with cause. Bills went unpaid. The rent fell behind. Eviction came without warning. And the friends she once entertained with juicy stories? Gone. With nowhere else to turn, Danielle was forced to call her sister, the same one she used to mock. To her surprise, her sister opened her door. No judgment, just quiet compassion. Danielle moved into her guest room, stripped of pride and dripping in shame. Every day was a reminder of what she had lost and what she had done. But it was also the first step toward something real. The shame was unbearable. She tried going back to church, but now the whispers were about her. The judgmental looks, the stares, the cold silence where there once was laughter. One Sunday she sat in the back, trying to hide, trying to breathe. The sermon that day, Proverbs 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The words hit her like thunder. Then came James 3, verse 6. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and is itself set on fire by hell. She had never seen it so clearly. Her words hadn't just been talk. They destroyed, not just others, but her marriage, her job, her family, her own peace. That night she couldn't sleep. She opened her Bible again, weeping. Not quiet tears, but deep, gut-wrenching sobs. God, I've done so much damage. I don't even know where to start. But please, change me, forgive me. I don't want to be this woman anymore. And then, like a flicker in the dark, hope. The road back wasn't easy. Her daughter barely spoke to her. Her son wouldn't make eye contact. Her husband moved out. Divorce papers followed. She faced rejection, loneliness, consequences she couldn't manipulate her way out of. But she stayed in the Word. She joined a women's Bible study. She confessed. She apologized. She reached out to people she had hurt, not asking for pity, but forgiveness. Some forgave, some didn't. But Danielle was free. She started speaking life instead of death. She mentored teenage girls at church, teaching them about the power of their words. At her new job, humbled, she chose kindness over gossiping. Her children saw the change. Slowly, her daughter began to trust again. Her son started coming home after school. They all began to heal. One Sunday, years later, Danielle stood on a small stage, sharing her story. I used to think gossip was harmless, she said. Just words, just talk. But my mouth nearly destroyed my life. Until God gave me new words, truth, love, mercy, healing. Her voice trembled as she smiled. Now I speak life, because He spoke life over me. And in the crowd, her daughter nodded, her son smiled, and one young woman sitting in the back, someone just like Danielle used to be, began to cry. Because in Danielle she didn't see perfection, she saw redemption. God still rewrites stories, even the ones we ruin with our own words. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Ephesians 4:29. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for more stories like this. Thank you for watching.